All right, Feisty triathletes, welcome to this week's episode. It's Kelly O'Mara. Katie's Affairs is here, back with our special guest, Josie, now 5 weeks old. And while Joanna's in Switzerland, Chelsea Burns is joining us. Welcome, Chelsea.
Thanks for asking me to be on. Yeah, exciting to be here.
All right, I gave you a warning right before we got on that I was going to ask you what you thought was the most exciting racing so far this year. So now you've had a whole 3 minutes to think about it.
Yep. And I actually had to talk to you guys about it too. So, yeah, I felt a little like we don't want to insult triathlon here, but I was struggling to think of a triathlon that has really captivated my attention. But I decided on USA's track and field. I think the 800s were pretty exciting for me to watch. So that will be my answer to your question.
That'll be your answer.
Men and women, or just the women? Because both were
pretty good, yeah. Pretty good.
Men for sure. Donovan Fraser coming back, 16-year-old getting second, like pretty exciting race just all around. I mean, all of those races were awesome to watch. If people missed them, I would highly recommend going back and perusing some YouTube clips. That it's nice that you can watch a race and it's over in 2-3 minutes too. So
it was a very drama-filled national championships, and I feel like you always know all the guys. Do you know yet? You know, at the end of the 200, Noah Lyles and why am I losing the other guy's name? Pushed each other and got in a fight. Do we know what that was about yet? Have we found out?
I listened to some podcasts that talk about this, and I just think that there's some long-standing beef. So I think at the beginning of the race there was a stare down, and they're not really best friends off the track. So they're obviously super competitive guys. But I think for Noah to get pushed and keep his cool was very mature. And
Kenny Bednarek,
yeah, Kenny. Good.
Here's what I heard. He made a fake Twitter account at one point to talk shit about Noah, and then I don't think they are friends.
Yeah. I mean that, and all the stuff around Sha'Carri, it's track is just, there's so many things going on, and I think that the characters in that sport make it really exciting to watch and follow beyond the actual racing, which maybe triathlon needs a little bit more of that. But
who's our closest character?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
the Norwegians. I think of Gustav and
yeah, but they're
not,
yeah,
but not drama
stirring up any.
No,
yeah,
no.
I mean, it's been years since we had a Chris McCormick feud happening, right? And that was he was the last person who was probably willing to be the bad guy. I think a lot of triathletes don't want to be the bad guy.
I'm sure there's some drama behind the scenes that we're not necessarily seeing, but I think that triathletes have maybe more to lose by putting that event in the public's.
Yeah, it's not quite as I don't know, accepted, I guess.
Yeah, they're not the same stars that someone like Noah Lyles is, and
sure.
Yeah, Sha'Carri got arrested the night before or a few days before, and she's still I don't know. If a triathlete got arrested, I feel that would have a far bigger fallout.
No, you're right. Obviously triathlon's still much smaller, and the sponsors would probably be much more upset about any kind of there's always a clause for if you do or say something bad, they can drop you.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking about if a triathlete got arrested 3 days before.
And I'm I'm not sure we're aspiring to this.
Yeah. I mean, so have you guys listened to Off the Rails podcast? It's done with Aisha and Eric Jenkins.
No.
It's underneath the Citius umbrella. They're pretty new. They've just started it. And they've done an amazing job. I would highly recommend if anyone has any track interest. And they talk about, just real world topics too. But they presented I thought it was just a really well-spoken analysis of those drama events, and then just a lot of those beyond the racing type of issues that we were following at track. So would highly recommend tuning into that one for some just perspective on everything.
Some perspective. All right.
Yeah.
I feel we're going to when we get to our section where we catch up with you, we're going to talk way more about running. I want to hear, because I feel I think you're going a little bit the same route I'm going, where running seems more interesting. But first, we have to talk about triathlon, okay? This is a triathlon podcast. All right, so T100 London this past week. I don't think we need to recap, because I feel probably all our listeners saw, Lucy came back, super exciting. I was really happy for it. And I thought it was funny because I feel last week on the podcast, I was never count out Lucy, but this isn't her distance. And then she had the fastest run of the day. And
she ran the exact same time as Ash Gentle last year, to the second.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Which I think is I mean, I don't know. I meant to look up if the course was the same for the run. I don't know if it was or not. But I think just knowing like Ash is known for her run and like Lucy in the past, I would say that she hasn't been. So I thought that was pretty incredible for her.
Yeah, I believe she had the fastest run split in that race too, which is, I mean, that's not someone you would think would be outrunning that field of people in an 18K run. So I thought that was so much more exciting than the men's race to follow the women lining up and what good racing it was. And I think too, to have yet another new person win a T100 this year.
Right, interesting.
It's so much more exciting to watch than when, props to Taylor for winning them all in the past, but it's really just more exciting as a fan, I think.
Because it's 4 different women for 4 different races. Yeah.
Here's my question. So Taylor isn't winning them all this year. And obviously she was with Lucy and Kate at the start or towards the beginning of the run. Is everyone running faster or is Taylor still like recovering from a run? Like, is she running not quite up to par yet? Or has the run game just like upped? I am not like, what is your answer?
I feel like the bike game has upped. And therefore the run is now more of a race. Like everyone's putting themselves into it more.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, she's not really getting many 5, 7, 8 minute gaps like she may have gotten before. And I mean, I haven't looked too closely at run splits from her to how she's going now compared to the last few years. But yeah, I mean, Taylor set a really high bar and people have, I think, leveled up to meet that. And so I also think London was probably not her most desired course. I think I didn't allow her to showcase her strengths.
Her strength.
Yeah.
I mean, I was also obviously thinking about like I was at San Francisco and she did have a gap, not a 5-minute gap, but she had a gap, and Julie ran her down. And I do like, but I think to your point, like like everyone's game is sort of upping.
I think Taylor too has a lot going on this year. I mean, I think she's now established herself over several years as being like the one with such a vibrant target on her back. And she's obviously now this season focused on Kona. And, she's every year that she becomes this much more evolved and like developed as an athlete, I think she has, like a few years ago, I'd say you could assume she was playing with less to lose. And now that pressure is kind of, accumulating. And yeah, I mean, it's got to be really hard to have everyone be like, oh, well, Taylor's going to win this, and be like, well, wait a second, I might not. Like, I had this little injury I was dealing with last week, or like, I got a little bit sick, or I don't know. There's so many things, and I think that she's handling that really well. But it's hard when people are like, well, what's happened to Taylor because she's not dominating all the races this year.
Yeah, so. She said after one of the races, she was like, oh, people, like, somebody was like, why didn't you win? And she was like, people's expectations are like really high. I was like, yeah pretty much. So.
And it's both like really hard to consistently win, but also that whole time people are trying to figure out how to beat you. All the athletes around you are learning your game and getting stronger. So it's like, I think that's what we're seeing right now. But also like to never count her out, because she's still like as strong as she's always been.
For sure.
And she's like a very like she's such a reflective athlete. She's her own worst, probably like one of her own worst critics. So she's just always trying to be far better.
Yeah, I think it's for me at least, it's hard to watch a T100 and not be Team Taylor though. Like I don't know, I see her enough around here, and she's someone I'm just like kind of always rooting for, because she's very, herself, and she's
very herself. That's to your really point of fun. Like, we need more personalities. I feel like she's one of the few very, very like real personalities we do have. Like, she's just gonna just say whatever she thinks. Sometimes the race directors wish she wouldn't, but she just says whatever, she just is herself. So
yeah.
Here's my biggest complaint about London. I don't know if you guys have raced. They finish inside like a building, which I guess must be really cool to experience, but the pictures are terrible. The lighting is awful. I'm like, it looks so stupid, even if it must be cool on the ground.
I never really thought about that.
Yeah. Optics wise, it's probably not the best showcase of London, which is like a beautiful city, of course. But I think that, people are always criticizing courses, whether it's World Triathlon or T100. And I mean, for them to have put together a race of that size, like the age group race was enormous in that city.
I went and counted because, okay, so I guess it used to be the biggest like amateur Olympic distance in the world, and it had like 13,000 people. And people were saying it had like 5 or 6. So anyway, I went and counted. It had 3,900 across the super sprint, Olympic, and 100K. So that's like still like, obviously that's not 13, but that's still like a pretty big amount of people.
Yeah. And I think I don't know, it seemed the age group event there seemed to catch a lot more attention. You had like Gordon Ramsay and like, who's
Petey.
Yeah, Adam Petey.
Adam. Yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed like they did a great job. I think the age group course, I think, took people through more of the city, showed them more of that. They, I guess, had like a more beautiful bike course. But to keep the pros in that, confined area, they had them in a transition area that was, protected from weather. I mean, every course is not going to be perfect, but I think that they are doing their best to create the best courses they can.
They are a London-based organization. I would feel like if there's going to be an event that they can get like the most celebrities out for, it would be London. I would hope.
Well, Gordon Ramsay is like super supportive of like sport in general, right?
Because he did like a 70.3 a couple weeks ago, right? Which was like his first one back after some bike crash. Oh, that question was a statement. I did not think you guys would have any idea.
We are not following Gordon's pursuits, but I'm glad you are.
It popped up on my Instagram, and then after the T100 was pushing him on Instagram over the weekend, then like one of his TV shows came on, and obviously on the T100 Instagram, he's all like super like, yay, let's raise money for kids. And then on the TV ad for his show, it was like, you all are terrible, bleep, 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 fuck it. Like, and I was like, man, those are I wonder which one's really him. This is what I was thinking about.
We probably will never know, unfortunately.
You can be 2 different people for 2 different things.
Sure. Anyway, it did seem like it's a good race. And I guess Julie Darren is leading the standings now. Is that right? But she has 1 race. She has 4 races and everybody else only has 3. And now we're like halfway through the season. And it's sort of a question of who's going to do which races left. Because Katie last week was like, oh, Valencia got canceled. And she said it. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I missed that. And then literally like after we got off the phone, Katie or whatever, and I was like, man, you jumped the gun. Then the news came out. So apparently you just knew before all of us.
Well, so the T100 has been moved to a location. And the World Cup is definitely canceled for World Triathlon. Because right after you said it to me, I was like, okay, I was wrong. But I'm kind of right, but
you're kind of
still wrong.
Well, you were mostly just like ahead of all of us. I was like, wow, how did she know that?
I'm not even surprised when races are canceled anymore. I mean, people are acting like, oh my gosh, this was such poor planning and leadership. But it's like, I don't know. It's happening so often. So
it is.
It's unfortunate, but that's just, I guess, the reality of how race organizing goes.
I was talking to somebody about like mass participation events and like the economics of it and whatever over the weekend. And like, I don't know, it is a really hard business right now for sure. And I guess it's sort of like, it also just like varies a lot. Like hopefully 4,000 age group athletes was enough to make money in London, but it could not. There's events where that wouldn't be enough because you like have too much overhead or it costs too much. Like you remember the New York Ironman that cost like $1,700 a person. Like, so whereas like trail races, you have like lower cost, you know what I mean? Like it kind of like triathlon, you have to have a lot of permits. A nice 5K around the park, you don't. So it's tough.
Well, Chelsea knows about this now. Well, no, you didn't do a race, but you put on a camp. And I feel like that's like, when I look at doing anything, I'm like, oh my goodness, like it looks so hard. But
I mean, yeah, I put on a kids camp in Boulder last week with Summer and Kevin, which we built it from dust. And I definitely didn't anticipate a lot of the planning and different things that were going to be involved. So it was a humbling and very rewarding experience. But yeah, I mean, we probably scraped the edge of a few rules, but
okay.
Don't tell the Boulder open space management. But no, we were like sanctioned from USA Triathlon. That involved like the kids being members. We got rentals from Boulder Parks and Rec. So, I mean, we went through all that stuff. We are paying taxes to the state, like proper.
So you guys put on like a youth camp?
Yeah.
With how many kids?
27.
It was so cool. I think it was awesome.
Yeah, we had like a month out, we had like 4 kids and we're like, oh, we're going to have to cancel this. And then by day 1, we had 27 and we were like, oh my God, this is too many. It was very fun, but so exhausting. It was also 100 degrees all week. So we got a little unlucky with heat, but they were like 8 to 13 age group. And we just did a lot of skills. We spent like,
I saw some of those mounts or dismounts, and I was like very impressed. Who was the mount dismount coach? Who was the lead on that?
Believe it or not, Summer Rappaport.
Okay.
Yeah. And so yeah, they were. I mean, kids too they're so fearless, and they are quite skilled, and they're so much smaller that they were all brilliant at mounts and dismounts. Like honestly, better than the T100 guys. So. Yeah, it was a very fun week for all of us. And I think we left being like, okay, that was, I don't know, we just want to do more. So
I asked Summer if you could do a remote one in Cary, and she said she would scheme with me. So are you on the scheme board?
You're not the first to ask for us to travel. So we will have to have a chat and see what's...
I can't compete with Bermuda.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. We got to have a little debrief and planning for 2026. But yeah.
Okay.
So we'll market it better this year too. We just didn't market it super well. You got to plan like months and months out. Kids get their summers planned.
Oh, they get their summers planned in like March.
Like now.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a summer camp next to my house, and it fucking sells out in like February. It's crazy. So wait, is the goal, like, are you just like teaching kids about triathlon, or do you do a triathlon at the end?
Yeah, so the intention was there was a race on the Saturday at the Boulder Res, a kids race. And our initial goal was to partner with that race and basically provide like a skills camp in the week leading up to that race. But the guy who organized it was like a big flake. He never really replied to us. So he ended up making it free. So everyone could sign up, which was kind of cool that it was like a few different distances depending on age and ability. But yeah, we promoted that as, hey, go sign up for this race and you get a chance to try your skills. But we focused on skills that week. We weren't like going on 20-mile rides with 10-year-olds. Swimming. We were in the pool the first 2 days. It was like 2 things a day. So it was like swimming and running, swimming and biking, and then like transitions. We set up like courses with cones. We were in turf fields. There was lots of crashes. It was like nothing serious, but yeah.
About kids being fearless, I coached at like a youth camp here one time, and a kid crashed his bike, which happens. But like I looked down and like I could see bone through the leg, and I'm like, fuck. So yeah.
We actually, the kids that crashed, we got some donations from the feed, and if you crashed, you got a crash visor. So it was like they got feed visors, and we're like, these are crash visors, because we didn't have enough for everyone. So
nice.
That was, the badge of honor if you did hit the pavement.
I like we went to a super tri event once in France, in Toulouse, and like the school was doing these mini triathlon. Well, I guess it was duathlon. And watching them come in on their bikes for the dismount, it's like they are going so fast, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
I should show you a video I took of dismount line. It looked like Vietnam. It was crazy. Warfare out there.
What was like the most memorable part, I guess, of your camp, or what's like your biggest takeaway, I guess?
I think how gritty they are. I think seeing some of them crash, and like they're trying so hard not to cry, but they can't help it, and they just like don't want to be crying, but they just, yeah. I think another memorable part was, there's all sorts of personalities there. There was this one kid on day 1. He was like, you look at him and you're like, oh, this kid is gonna be trouble, but he just like needed a little more attention, and he needed a little more guidance, and by the end he was like in it, and he did the race on the Saturday, and he had so much fun. And so I think seeing like, I don't know, like kids are varying levels of easy to work with for whatever reason, but just being able to like reach everyone. And I don't know, I answered your question a million different ways there, but I don't know. I haven't ever worked with that age group. I've worked with high schoolers and collegiates a lot who, they're fine, but
I was going to ask which age group you liked working with the most.
Definitely.
These
Like
ones.
the 8-year-old girls were so cute. I couldn't believe it. So, yeah.
I know what I was gonna ask both of you because you both coach, and I've been like, this is kind of a jump in topic, but it's related. Okay, so there's been like all these AI coaching programs right now. Like Ironman just broke up with Tridot, which was kind of trying to make AI training platforms, and Strava is like getting into the AI training game, and I feel like the Jan had one, and the Brownlees had, like, they're everywhere. I don't quite understand it. As a coach, do you guys understand it? Like, does it make are you going to use these? What is the benefit?
I know for me as an athlete, like it wouldn't work. Like I left Joel's training environment and I would just fall off the rails. So an AI like training plan, like I don't need the like, I don't know. I think there's some people who just want a training plan, like what you do with running, where you just get something very formal and formatted and you just follow it. But I'm not that type of athlete. Like I need the attention. I need the like someone to just tell me everything's going to be okay when it's not okay. And like just the team aspect of it. So I think there's so much missing, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think every conversation about AI is the most annoying conversation in the world.
It's so annoying.
So
oh my God.
I like am like hesitant to even indulge in this topic because it's like so obvious that's like, of course, that's you can replace writing a training program, and there's so much of that, and that is all that a lot of people want. But like for a certain level of coaching, it's just not even a question. So.
Well, okay, I guess to be totally like, okay, so as somebody who like lives in the capital of AI and thinks it's completely overhyped and is going to crash hard in 2 years, and I'm so fucking sick of it and will like refuses to use it, I'm with you. But I think the argument for AI as like a training program is that these people otherwise like would get confused and wouldn't do anything. Like they wouldn't pay for a coach and they would just like fall off the wagon and so this is some step in between not doing anything and paying for a coach.
I guess in that way, like for like, yeah, I mean, it'd be like typing in Google. Well, to me, maybe it's because I'm not.
Yeah, like you could already type it on Google, couch to 5K, and you can get something. Like, I don't know.
You just make it more like, hi, my name is Katie, and these are the things I love. Please make me a training plan based around these specific goals.
There is also
we should have tried it.
We should have tried that. Yeah, I should have like made us an AI training plan or whatever that adapts to our.
Oh, and we could have raced at the end of it and seen how good we've been. This could be a long game.
Yeah, that would be the only factor in how that race went, would be how that AI coaching performs.
Right. There's not enough like weird things going on in their lives right now.
I guess, I mean, there was like some other study a week or two ago that somebody sent me that basically like whatever, it was like adherence to a training program. And it turns out if you do activities that you like, you're more likely to stick to doing them.
Surprise.
Yeah. It's like that makes sense. That tracks.
But, you know, I guess like, again, we're probably not the audience, but there are people who need to be told, like, you don't have to do whatever fucking thing you saw that someone's telling you need to do. You could just do whatever you want to do. So anyway.
Well, case closed, I think.
Case closed. Done.
Not a fan.
I'll let Tridot know. What was I about to say? I guess we should take an ad. My editor told us to take an ad break, and this feels like a good spot. So we will take a break, and then we will come back and talk about Ironman.
Hey, Feisties. Sarah Gross here. We are so excited to be back with you here on our new, shiny, Feisty Triathlon podcast. Thank you for listening. I am so glad you're here. I want to tell you about one of the Feisty team's favorite recovery products, Prevenex's Neurify Plus. I use the chocolate flavor myself every day to support my strength training. At Feisty, we only support brands that our team uses and products that deliver results we have seen for ourselves. Prevenex's Neurify Plus is one of the best tasting plant-based and vegan shakes I've tried, and trust me, I've tried a lot. It contains balanced protein, carbs, and fat with comprehensive, high-quality micronutrients to help fuel your health. It also contains probiotics and digestive enzymes, so it's super easy to digest and doesn't give you that bloaty, gassy kind of effect that other protein products can produce. Unlike most supplement brands, Previnex tests everything with pharmaceutical-grade precision, and they also offer a 100% money-back guarantee. So try Neurify Plus or any Previnex product today, and you get 15% off your first order with the code FEISTYTRY at Previnex.com. That's FEISTYTRY for 15% off at Previnex.com. The link will be, as always, in the show notes. Regular listeners of Feisty podcasts will not be surprised to learn that for decades, running shoes have been researched, tested, and designed for men. Brands have relied on the shrink it and pink it approach to sell male shoes to female customers. But women's feet differ from men's in numerous ways. We have increased toe splay, higher arches, a more narrow heel, a lower ankle bone, upward angled toenails, and a rounded instep that is smaller in circumference. And because of all those differences, that is why we need HEDAs. HEDAs has unlocked the science behind women's biomechanics through dedicated research and creates running shoes specifically designed for women. So that means a lower heel collar to reduce rubbing on women's ankle bones, plate design to provide heel stability and to decelerate foot impact, rounded instep creating a snug fit through the middle to match the curvature of a woman's foot. Every feature is designed to give you more power and less problems. Breathability that lets your feet breathe easily mile after mile, plus fast drying tech that doesn't allow sweat to slow you down, adaptive stretch that molds to your foot like it was made just for you. I personally have been running in HEDAs for over 2 years, and from the first time I tried them, I knew that there was something different. They really felt like they were made for me. The shoes are super light but provide good cushioning, and they really support my very high arches. I honestly didn't think I would notice the difference after running for so many years in male model shoes, but I really did. So try HEDAs for yourself today. Go to hedas.com and use the code STAYFEISTY for 20% off. That is Stay Feisty for 20% off at hedas.com. The link will, as always, be in the show notes.
All right, I know you two are super in the weeds on Ironman and love to talk about long distance triathlon, but I do feel like we need to, because this weekend is the last qualification for World Championships. There's one spot for the women at Kalmar in Sweden and one spot for the men at Copenhagen. Chelsea Sidara needs to validate so she won't, like, even that's not the spot, right? Like that doesn't count towards the spot. There's like 20 women. It's like a little bit exciting that like there's only one, you know what I mean? Like this is your last chance. Personally,
yeah, it's
I would
a little
like to
bit
see,
exciting.
Yeah, it's a little bit exciting. I would like to see Nikki Bartlett get her spot. I feel like
So it's all at this race in Sweden.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And would you say the spot is between like 2 or 4 people?
Well, I feel like Nikki Bartlett should get it, right? Because like you aren't like on the podium last year and then like don't get to go the next year. Like that would be crazy, right? Like
right.
But like shit happens. That's why she doesn't have a spot yet. So she has to be the favorite, or Marlene de Boer. How do you say that? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Those two feel like they have to be the favorite out of the people who don't have spots. But Chelsea, like you could one of these people who's never been before could pick up the last spot, get to go. Who knows?
And that's why we love sport. You never know. You just never know. And like this, all those people have had many months to get their spot. And so as brutal as it would be to not get it here in the last final hour, yeah, sport is tough. So if Chelsea Sodaro does not finish, she doesn't get a spot either.
Right. So I can't imagine she won't like.
I mean, 42K is a long ways to run.
And like she's been hurt. I mean, she said that, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she has to finish. I don't know. I mean, I assume like if she has to walk, she has to walk. But I don't think that's gonna happen.
That's such a like challenge, like finishing an Ironman as you're getting ready for Ironman World Champs as you're injured is like seems like a very tough spot to be in.
Yes.
Yes. That is everything about Ironman is a tough situation, I believe. So if they get their spot, they still have to go do another Ironman, which
Yes.
is, the irony of this all. Yeah.
This is some deep
Sorry,
analysis.
we're not passionate enough about Ironman for you.
Like, why do people do this? We just
Like, I've done one marathon ever in my life, and that was plenty. And there was no biking and no swimming. So I just can't wrap my head around Ironman.
I think you would run slightly slower.
Yeah, still.
yeah, it's still like a 7-8 hour day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is accurate, guys. Correct.
Sorry, you need to ask us really directed questions.
All right. So that is on, I don't actually remember if it's on Saturday or Sunday, but that is this weekend in Kalmar. I believe it's Saturday, and I believe Copenhagen is a Sunday for the men. And they also only have one spot, but there's like 50 men going after that one spot. So that's going to be like, I'm rooting for Cody Beals just because.
Same.
Yeah.
Katie
same.
too. Yeah.
and Josie. She's
Yeah.
in.
You're like, great. Perfect, guys.
The whole family is behind him.
When I saw this on the docket, I was like, "Yep, you guys
Yep.
are going to carry this conversation."
Oh, man. Well, now I feel like, okay, guys, fine. You want to talk about short course? Tell me what's going on in short course.
I mean, okay, if we were talking about Kona, I think I would be kind of excited and I would have stuff to say. But
all right, well, fine.
with all due
What do you
respect,
have to say about Kona?
Kalmar, Sweden? I'm like, okay.
It's the last race for Kona.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously, it feels like early to like talk Kona. It's like a little, it's still like 2 months away. But at the same time, not that early. Everyone's like booking their shit and like messaging me about booking their shit. So
Are you going?
yeah. Well, for me, it is literally like I have the easiest flight of like anyone who doesn't live in Hawaii. So for me, it's like super, super easy.
It's still, you have to cross half an ocean. It's not close.
It's not close.
But for Californians, it is like I always was like, "Wow, that's an exotic, luxurious vacation," and like,
It's like a direct 4-hour flight.
yeah, for you guys, it's like the Caribbean.
Yeah. Here's the big question. You ready? This is, you guys are going to definitely have opinions about this. Should I bring my 7-month-old and my mom so that she can watch him and then put my mom in charge of also babysitting all the other pros kids?
Oh boy.
I would say no.
I was like, yes, no.
No.
Yeah. It also seems like you could buy a really nice dinner with that and save a lot of stress.
Yeah. So the kid was going to stay here and like, I'm just going to be gone. But a lot of people have asked about this. And then like a bunch of the pros have like kids under 1.5. So I feel like we should just all put them in like a pen and put somebody in charge of watching them.
As long as they're not mobile, just have them
Right?
all.
Yeah.
You can do the baby race that they do, like the crawling race. You can just have that be part of the Kona show.
Perfect.
Yeah. There
See,
you go.
Katie is what's the word? She's being a useful part of this conversation. She's coming up with ideas.
I think I gave you the most useful
Don't
advice
do
and
it.
said no.
What is it gonna?
But if you do, make sure to podcast about it because we're all
Definitely.
curious how it goes.
Yeah.
So
Have your mom wear a nanny cam or whatever they are.
Yes. All right, Chelsea, are you going to Kona?
do you need an assistant?
We could, yeah. Actually.
Okay, cool. Send me my flights. I'll be there.
Okay.
No, it's not in my itinerary as of now. So yeah, just chilling.
Since you are in Boulder, though, do you get like all the inside scoop? Do you like know like who we should be paying attention? Because you know how you always like see people at the pool or like out on the track, whatever. Do you have like the early Kona predictions? Is what I'm trying to say from Boulder.
Well, I don't go to the pool, but
fair.
no, I mean, people think everyone in Boulder is just like a triathlete hanging out together, and that's definitely not the reality of this town. But I don't know. I mean, the only person I would say I even really see or talk to that much is Taylor Knibb. But
Yeah.
it's going to be, I feel like the people lining up for that race in the women's, obviously they're all women there, but I feel like going to be one of the best Konas ever. I just did a podcast actually last week with Solveig, and it's just like they're just like a few more people that their addition to the race is just exciting to watch. So it's not like, of course, there's the favorites. Like, I think it'd be hard to say that someone like Laura Arquette is not a favorite for the win, but of course there's like so many other people, and it's Kona. You never know what's going to happen. So sorry, no insights from Boulder that I can tell you about, but I'm not really on the inside of the triathlon world here.
I find that hard to believe. You have more gossip than anyone I know.
I don't think so. Maybe once upon a time, not these days though.
Well, and I also feel like it's kind of similar to T100, where you've just seen more people have more success at the like Ironman level. So to Chelsea's point, everyone coming together, which is then going to make triathlon so much more exciting once everybody's at the same race doing the same thing. And especially the first timers in Kona, because I feel like Kona is such a specific race. So
I'm curious how Solveig's definitely one of the most exciting like debuts, I think, whatever you want to call it, that we'll see. Because she's had such a
she's run
splash onto the scene.
She's only run 2:46 in Ironmans ever. Like, that's insane.
It's so crazy that she started with that. Like, well, no, she did do a half, right? I actually just listened to your podcast.
Did, yes.
But
yeah, no, I'm just saying that she's done 2 Ironmans and she's run 2:46 for both, which is like such a fast time. So to debut on that and then back that up is remarkable from my perspective.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, we're going to take another quick break, and then we are going to talk about your podcast and what you've been up to, and we're going to get the Chelsea update. Here at Feisty, we're excited to be teaming up with Xterra to help get more women onto the trails and into off-road triathlon. Xterra offers a full schedule of off-road triathlons all around the world, from super sprint to Olympic distance, youth races. Their events feature open water swimming, mountain biking, trail running, with a focus on the welcoming community and beautiful destinations. And I want to be clear, anyone can do an Xterra. You can do an Xterra. Even if you've never mountain biked before, other athletes are ready to get you to that finish line and are even known to offer a helping hand during races. In fact, we'll be doing a series of Feisty podcasts and videos with some tips and ways to get started. Stay tuned. You'll also recognize some of the most iconic names in triathlon who got their start in Xterra: Flora Duffy, Mel McQuaid, Leslie Patterson. And next year, the World Championship race will return to the US with a new home in New Mexico. And most importantly, Xterra offers equal prize money, recognition, and spots to that World Championship. So if you're looking for a new adventure, hit the dirt and find a race to try at xterraplanet.com. That's XTERRA planet.com. Orca has been a longtime partner of Feisty Triathlon, and we've been excited to see them over the years constantly innovating to create the best wetsuits on the market. In 2022, they came out with 6 iconic wetsuits designed to enhance every swimmer's form. And now, in 2025, they've launched a second generation of those suits, with advances in flexibility and freedom of movement to improve your feel for the water and reduce fatigue. Now, the Orca wetsuits are divided into 2 categories, and in each category there are 3 suits with different characteristics and buoyancy levels. So whether you're looking for maximum buoyancy, or maximum shoulder mobility, or a mix of the two, Orca has a suit for you. Get ready for race season with an Orca wetsuit and use the code FEISTY15 for 15% off at orca.com. That's FEISTY15 for 15% off at orca.com.
I'm excited for the Chelsea update. I feel like I haven't talked to you in so long. Tell us.
What is the Chelsea? Oh, yeah,
tell us everything. Are we back?
It's actually my second podcast in a row this week that's not Chasing the Burn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which other one did you do?
What's the competition?
Don't worry. It's not too stiff. I went on the Stupid Questions podcast.
Oh, he's so nice.
Yeah, he was very sweet, but it was just like so weird being interviewed. And I was like,
Oh, yeah, that has to be like a different brain now.
Yeah. Well, it's just, I'm like, well, I don't really have too much to say about myself, but it was, I don't know. I feel like I actually learned a bit about how to interview by being interviewed, if that makes sense.
Okay. What did you learn?
Well, just that it's hard on the guests too. I always think when I'm interviewing someone, I'm like, oh, they're just talking about themselves. This is so easy for them. But, you like finish recording, you're thinking about it after, like, oh, what did I say? I don't know. It was just it was good for me, I think, to be put on the other side of the mic.
Did you say anything that after you were like, shit?
I don't even remember what I said. That was a problem.
I'm the
He asked
same
me
way.
all sorts of questions. Yeah. It was like asking me if I believe in God. And I was like, that's not something I ask on my podcast, but that's really putting me in a different comfort zone. So, yeah.
Well, and it also makes such a big difference when the interviewers know what they're talking about. Like you always do a very good job of knowing who you're interviewing. But I've been on podcasts where the person like doesn't actually know like who you like what you do really. And they're like, what's your fastest time in a triathlon?
And you're like, what? I don't even know how to answer that.
Yeah, you just shut down. I'm like, okay, you don't care, I don't care.
I think, the two most important things for me when I'm interviewing someone is like, number one, making them comfortable. And that's like kind of getting on their level energy wise, or like deciding what level of humor to use, or just depending on how well I know them or know about them. So number one, like, energy being leveled, but then also being prepared, knowing like I'm not always amazing at that. And sometimes I'm like, shoot, I needed to know more than I actually did. But basic research goes a really long way. So
you're really good at the first part. I've always felt like, even before you started the podcast, like your friendships and the people you interact with, like you were always so good at like knowing like how, like, I guess just how to interact with, I don't know, like matching the energy is exactly what you said.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's important. I think it is really important when you're having any sort of conversation with someone. It's probably like the first day of therapy school you learn that, but it's like I don't take that for granted. It's something that not everyone necessarily does. And I think that it really goes a long ways. And you can tell when you listen to an interview with someone on a podcast, if they're comfortable with who they're talking to and just the topic. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to ask everyone the same kind of questions because that's probably not appropriate to ask. So, yeah.
Yeah, if people don't listen, Chelsea has a podcast called Chasing the Burn, and you've been doing a whole series called Paris People or People of Paris. I can never, but following up on people from a year ago at the Olympics, which has been super interesting. And I feel like this is also like Katie can speak this. What do people do?
So many different things
after the Olympics.
Yeah.
That's why this series is so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. What don't they do, really?
What don't they do?
Well, and now there's so many choices too.
Mm.
There are a lot of choices. Like, the choices are literally exponential. You could leave the sport and do anything in the world, really. But yeah, I did a lot of episodes last year leading into Paris. I think that was the first year I'd really done my own show. And that was really easy of a year to start on because there's so much to talk about, whether it's people's preparations, selection is so, all over the place. And then this year I was like, well, how do I keep this going without the Olympics to frame everything off of? So I did, actually, the first series I did this winter was a coaching series. I had 5 different coaches on, and I thought that series concept was kind of fun and something that I feel like most people don't do that. So I then did like Paris People, and I think I only had like 3 official episodes for that, but I've had a lot of conversations with people after that like official series that were in Paris, and my focus is honestly not so much like what they're doing, but like how they're feeling, because that is something I'm sure Katie can relate to. This is like so intense, whether you won the gold medal, whether you were last place, whether you got 4th place, just like where your expectations were at, how you're feeling on the day after the Olympics last year, or how you're feeling 3 months later, how you're feeling 12 months later. There's so much. And I think that people I've had on, I felt like have been super grateful to talk about it, because it is something that, of course, there are resources and everyone has their family and friends and psychologists and coaches, but I do think it's like kind of pushed under the rug for a lot of people. And what I've actually found the most interesting is those people who had what on paper looks like an exceptional race. Like Beth Potter, that episode was really interesting for me. She was bronze, but she went in with like expected to maybe win gold, and she didn't win gold, and how traumatic that was. I really got her to open up. So yeah, what they're doing now, I mean, it's interesting, but I think how they're feeling has been really far more interesting to me. So.
And it's so true because I feel like right after the Olympics, you'll get like, they'll post like one Instagram about like disappointment or happiness, or it's like one small glimpse into it, but then it's not like the whole spectrum of emotions that you've gotten in your interviews with everybody, in the sense of just like, it just like is a huge variance of all the things of how they're feeling, what they expected, what they're doing next. Do they know what they're doing next? Are they go like with Solvay's that you're like, oh, were you looking at LA 2028? And it's like, oh, I don't like at some moments, yes, other moments, no.
Yeah.
And I think you capturing that and them having a voice for it, because it is people just assume certain things, and it's just so much hype into one race, as I think all of them have kind of spoken about.
And I think the other massive thing was people maybe assume that, okay, maybe you're disappointed, you're going to get over it in a week, a month. But for a lot of people, they're like not getting over it in a year. And it's maybe like a multi-year process to like, grieve is a dramatic word, but I think that is an appropriate word to process the magnitude of what that experience is for people emotionally. So
it's interesting. So my husband went through like a shitty selection process and didn't get picked at the last minute for the Olympics, and he's like still not over it. And I'm like, you didn't even like. Part of me is like, I know all these people who went through like a lot worse, and I'm like, you had it relatively easy. Move on. You have a career, but it's like it's hard to go through something like that. It's very emotionally draining.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's intense.
You relive it every 4 years.
What else are you now? We're gonna interview Chelsea. What else are you doing in addition to being all of the Olympians' psychiatrist?
Well, I have a job because for me to eat and live. I work at Trader Joe's in Boulder. What else am I doing? I'm putting on kids camps.
Will there be more? So there are going to be more. Maybe not this year.
Probably not in 2025, but 2026. Yeah, stay tuned. And like I said, we're going to just blast our marketing. So you're going to have ads in the middle of Feisty being like, Boulder Youth Triathlon Camp.
I just followed you.
Recruiting. On what? Instagram?
On Instagram. Yeah, I just followed Boulder. Well,
see, I don't think I even follow the Instagram account yet. We're still getting things going.
Oh, man. All right. Well.
I'm ahead of the game then.
Yeah. I have a pretty high like barrier to entry for Instagram follows. Okay, so
you don't even follow your own thing. Yeah.
Okay, I maybe forgot.
Okay.
Yeah, kids camp. I run a lot. I did a 50-mile race a month ago. That was exhausting.
Wait,
you were at Western States too, though, right?
I was at Western States. Yeah.
Did I see you there, or did I just like hear you were there? I don't know.
I don't remember seeing you. I heard you were down at Rucky Chucky though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually, so I was there as a pacer for Heather Jackson, who ended up dropping before she reached Forest Hill, which is where the pacers start. Mm-hmm. So I didn't get to run with her, but I ended up just doing the leg anyways. So it was like, I'd been, up since 4 a.m.
Right.
It was so hot. We'd gone everywhere, and I'd been sitting at Forest Hill for like 6 hours, and then it was 5 p.m. And I was like, well, I planned on doing a 3-hour run today. Off I go. So I started at 5 and I ended at like 8 something up the hill from Rucky Chucky. So yeah, I got to see Western States, just not, how it was going to go in my brain ahead of time.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was my training. It was like a training run for me because I did a 50 in Leadville 2 weeks after that.
Oh.
Are you like full on a trail runner now?
I'm just, human of planet Earth. I feel like that was my first race I'd done in a long time. I just kind of wanted a goal for myself for the summer, something to like, I run with a lot of people who are very serious about running and trails especially. And I think it helped focus me to have something to like look at. And it became very stressful in the last month that it was all above 10,000 feet. Like I felt stressed to like get up. I live at 5,000 something, but the difference between 5 and 10,000 is catastrophic. And so I felt like, oh my God, I have to go drive up high and run. And it was a lot. I don't know if I'll be racing again in Leadville, but I got third. And so I actually qualified for the 100, which I'm not taking that slot.
Okay.
But
Wait, was it the where you qualified like for 2 weeks later?
you can either take it this year. So it's happening in like 4 days, or you can take it for 2026. But I was also very uninterested in 2026.
Yeah, my question was going to be, was the altitude as intense as like you hear it is or would expect it to be, or like what you feared, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, have you guys ever run at 10,000 feet?
Yeah, because I used to live in Boulder, right? And I drove up to like Magnolia, whatever the road is called. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Magnolia Road's at 8.
It's at 8.
Is a lot lower
terrible.
than 10.
That was still terrible. Okay, I like spent like 3 days recovering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely hard, and I think that the challenge is magnified on hills. It had 2,200 meters of climbing, so it's not like the hilliest race ever, but that's a lot of going up and down. So yeah, my honestly, my weakness or my breaking point was that my IT band like gave out with 8 miles to go, and I like walk ran the last 8 miles. So yeah, it's okay now, but 50 miles was a really long ways. So respect, like insane respect to anyone who does 100 or more. It's a long ways to be running.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I do.
Well, how like for your running, when you're running in Boulder, you're still running with like a lot of different people, and do you just kind of jump into their like sessions and training days and like do a hodgepodge?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I have my running friends. I have my triathlon friends. So I run with my running
Do
friends.
they mix?
Not really. I mean, the only person in my running friend group who does triathlon is Sophie Lynn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I would say, yeah, triathletes have their thing they're going to do, and they're pretty firm on that. So when she's healthy, I like run with Flora, but I don't really do too many things with triathletes here. I just have my running buddies who are trail runners, honestly. Like I was a person I ran with a lot. Riley Brady, who's really good at trail running, was out there at Western States, had a rough day. Claire Gallagher, someone who's won Western States in the past. She's pregnant right now, but still trucking along. She ran like 7 miles with us the other day, and she's due in September. So just impressive.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you follow your AI running plan to a T?
No, I trust
kidding.
Chelsea's brain. Chelsea's brain is
brain.
better than AI, I think, for myself at least. But yeah, it's an interesting place. Like having been done with triathlon, you've had your professional life, and I hang out with a lot of people now who are still very focused on like high performance sport. And I don't know, it's different when you've moved on from that. Like it is no longer the way I like earn money, and that's not my identity anymore. But it's still important to me. I still, would like to go to the track and run hard in the same way that maybe someone training for a T100 race would. But it's just, I don't know, it has different weight, and it's a lot lighter. But it's still very fun to just like go to someone's sessions. But as you know.
I've always been so impressed because of how much you stayed connected with doing the hard stuff once you retired, like once you stopped doing triathlon. Like, I don't know that. I think
Katie doesn't want to. Is it?
Like I feel like, I guess that's why, is because like I'm like, oh, how am I even gonna start like training again? But like watching you do it, it's just super cool because I think partly you're motivated by like your friend, like doing training with friends.
Flora's fault. Sure.
Yes.
Like many run workouts I would never ever have done if it was not for her. And I'm like, really? Another one? Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, no, it's true. But I think once you're fit enough, you're like, well, I don't really want to lose this because once I lose this, it sucks.
It does suck. That is correct.
Yes.
But also the process of starting at zero and building back is a really rewarding one. Like I got injured earlier this year and I didn't run for 6 weeks. I hadn't done that in like ever in my life. And the build back from zero, when you start doing like 1 minute run, 1 minute walk, the return you see is so satisfying. So that's
I have
fun
to tell you, Chelsea, from like, because I mean, Katie's obviously still like 100 times fitter than I am in the world, but you didn't hit zero. We we would like you to know that 0 is much, much, much lower than that.
Okay. We all have our own zeroed out bottom. For me,
fair.
that was 0.
Yeah.
Fair.
Have I had a child? No.
Was the 6 weeks really hard for you without like when you weren't running, or what did you find to do then?
It was tough. I tore my labrum, so I didn't run for I didn't run for 4 weeks, got PRP, and then didn't run for another 2 after PRP. But it was in the winter, so I was still split boarding, and I don't know. It was, honestly, I needed a break. So for the first half of it, I was pretty happy to not do much, and I was doing a lot of gym. I was like getting buff, but when it's February here, you're like, okay, I don't want to go outside in that anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But snowboarding is fun for me in the winter when I can't run. So,
You can do that with a hip flexion chair?
well, it felt fine. It didn't feel amazing.
I was like, this is surprising to me.
It's just,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Anyway.
That's awesome. And then, are you traveling at all, or not really? Are you mainly staying in Boulder, or are you going to any of the things?
I don't really leave anymore. I mean, for the first time this year, I think that, as you know, when you're racing professionally, you do so much travel that you're like, oh my God, the idea of even glancing at an airport makes you want to vomit. And
It happens so
even-
fast.
It does happen so fast. And even when the few years after I retired, like last year I went to Paris and I went to Europe another time and I went here. Whereas January 1st of 2025, I told everyone around me, I was like, I'm taking 0 flights this year. Like,
Really?
watch me.
Okay.
I have taken a few. I went to Western States. I went and saw my parents in Seattle, but I'm trying to embrace the fact that I live in Colorado and it's so pretty here and there's so many cool things to do here and I don't need to go places. Yeah, I mean, that'll probably change. But for now, I'm having a very home existence.
all right. So you've taken a few flights this year?
I've literally only gone 2 places on a plane.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they were both 2-hour flights. Seattle and Sacramento.
No check bags.
No check bags.
Amazing.
But Kona, we'll see. We'll see if I can cross half of an ocean.
You've been or haven't been before?
No. Yeah.
What? All right. Obviously, you're like saying you're not that connected to triathlon anymore, but still, you're obviously like pretty connected. What triathlon races are you excited about left on the year? Like as a fan, spectator, friend, podcaster.
I do get excited for all of the T100s.
Oh, okay.
Do I watch them all like beginning
At
to
4
end?
a.m.?
No.
Yeah.
I did have, so I work 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays, and T100 started, I think it was about 5 a.m. here. So as you know, you probably actually don't know, but at 6 a.m. at Trader Joe's, you're like, putting tofu up for everyone or stocking oranges. So I had my phone like set up in the tofu as I was like stocking. So don't tell my bosses there, but I watched a lot of that one in London, and I think that racing is fun to watch. The World Triathlon, I think for me, it's the fewer people I know in the races, it becomes a little bit less thrilling. But I watched Super Tri actually, almost surprisingly. The newer courses, like this French Riviera, the combo of the World Triathlon and the T100, that's pretty exciting.
How is that going to shake out? I'm still confused how that's going to work. Like if people are going to have to pick one or the other.
People are doing both. There's
Oh,
at
okay.
least 3 people I know of doing both.
Really?
Because
Yeah.
Morgan's doing both, right? Or-
Morgan is,
Really?
Hayden is, I think Spivey's doing both
I was
as well.
wow.
Huh.
And remind me again, is which one's first? Is the T100
T100,
first?
yeah.
Yeah. And then only a couple days later.
I
Is
think
it
it's the
even a
next
couple
day.
next day? This is like the
Yeah.
next super try. Do T100, then do a World Triathlon.
Yeah.
race, and then finish it with a super try.
Yeah. I mean, and then that opportunity presents itself again, right? In Wollongong.
Yes.
Wha-
In
So-
Wollongong.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Why? What is the appeal? Like, why are people doing both?
I
Do
mean,
they get paid
money.
for both?
Yeah. In theory, if you race well at both, but
And points for it allows you to stay connected in World Triathlon. I mean, but this is a hard double.
And from my perspective, I think you're probably going to do better overall if you really just put your heart into one.
Sure.
It's hard to think that kind of, I mean, not to say they're all going to be average at both, but that seems hard. It also seems like it's disrespecting the field and the distance of what are like top level races in the world to think you can just like back to back both. But best of luck to them.
I mean, maybe they don't think they're going to. Maybe they're just like, well,
maybe not.
But do you think in like the T1, like people mixing it up is more of a post-Olympic? Like I'm wondering if as it gets closer to the like LA, people will dial it in more. But like I always felt like this was an opportunity. This year after is like an opportunity to do things you don't like. Even watching like Georgia, I mean, like I don't even know. I'm not sure what she plans on doing like longer term, but she's like playing around with different things and seeing what she wants and what she gravitates towards.
Did you listen to her on Chasing the Bird?
I need to. I listened to Solveig and Georgia was next. I'm going backwards.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think it's obviously, back to a question you asked earlier, it is a year to explore for those people who are so focused on Paris last year. So
because it is just like, it's so hard. Like,
yeah. And like you see some,
oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, even someone like Alex Yee, what he's been doing, he like did London and he ran 13:13 last weekend for a 5K. Like
I saw that. Yeah.
It's insane. But
and we had talked about it like in an earlier episode, just how people are like mixing it up more with like the single sport disciplines and racing, like in crit race. Well, not just crit races, but actual like cycling races and road races and things like that. So,
okay. All right. So those are the things you're excited about. Anything else?
Well,
on the rest of the schedule?
Maybe I don't know, but like what races are you guys excited about?
Karlovy Vary, just because of the course, because we've had so many boring courses, and I don't know what French Riviere's course is like, but like Karlovy Vary was a hard World Cup, and like
you've raced there, right?
Yeah, and Jess Learmonth beasted the bike. Maybe I'm misremembering. I don't know if I watched her do that or if I was in the race with her. I think I was in the race with her, watching her from behind, not
right. Sure.
But yeah,
that's a WTCS this year, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah. And I just like, I don't know, the course. I just wish the courses would be a little bit more varying.
Yeah. They had an amazing course in Weihai, and I saw recently that they
I just
brought it down to be some lame flat thing now. But yeah, I raced there back when it was a World Cup. It was like one of the craziest but epic bike courses that I'd ever done. So to lose that is unfortunate, but.
And when they were in, Cagliari or like I was like, oh, maybe they'll move it to Arzachena. Did you ever do that World Cup?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I did Cagliari when there was a hill.
Oh, when Alex Yee. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I did it several times back when it was a World Cup. They had it go up an epic hill, come down this like speed bump infested descent. I watched Alex Yee go into the barrier. It was a traumatic day. But yeah, now they've just made it down on the beach nice and flat. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Kona for sure.
yeah.
Even though I'm sort of like right, that too. Even though I'm kind of like, I don't know, mad at Ironman these days. We're gonna have a special, we're here for the women's race, and we are gonna have a t-shirt drop that I also think will be really fun for Kona. That's like my special preview here. And I don't know. I mean, I'm sort of like, I get it, whatever. We're not gonna go into it, but like I am kind of excited for the last all women's race. Like I'm kind of sad that they're gonna get like mixed in with the men again next year. So I do think this is gonna be both like really, really epic and like a little bittersweet. Like,
you are sad that it's going back to.
Yeah, I mean, I see, Chelsea, this was me saying, like, people don't want to hear my thoughts on this some more, but apparently you don't know my thoughts on this.
Give me a brief synopsis.
Look, like, they've got to chase the Kona machine, right? And so, of course, they're going to make money in the short term because they've sold the Kona dream for like 4 fucking decades on NBC, right? That's not going to work for them in the future. So this is a short-term play that's not going to pan out because they're not planning for like youth in the future and like 20 years from now. They're also not planning for like expansion because now you've like limited yourself. But besides all that, they're cramming the women back in the men's race. And no matter how many times you say like, oh, we'll have separate cameras. Oh, we'll make sure that there's spacing. Like, it's just not going to work. Like, that's just like basic logic. Like, Lucy will catch men. Men will be mixed in. It will change the dynamic. the age grouper women gonna get fucked again. Like, that's just the reality. Like, doesn't matter what you say. Like, you guys have never done it as an age grouper. I did as an age grouper. Like, there are packs. So I'm just sort of like, it just feels like, I don't know.
They should make it draft legal.
Nice. It actually, technically, the first little loop around town is like, they don't enforce drafting.
I mean, of course, there is no perfect scenario. I think there's pros and cons on both sides here. But I don't know. From my perspective, as someone who doesn't really know a whole lot about Kona and Ironman, it seems like there's plenty to gain from having them back together. And I mean, in 20 years from now is a hard plan to make, like they had a tsunami warning a few weeks ago. It could be underwater in 20 years anyway. So it may be just like, let's live in the now.
But the main thing I don't love is it's like such a specific race and course for certain athletes. So like you never get to see, well, not you never get to see, but I just feel like I like the idea of doing changing the location of a world champs to have like, if people struggle in the heat, like it's kind of like, oh, I mean, I guess you figure it out, but also it'd be nice to have a race that you could.
I mean, I think there's a reason the 2-day 70.3 Worlds is like their most popular event. I'm not saying like lore wise, I'm saying literal like numbers wise. But that just sort of is what it is. Whatever. They made their decision. They don't care what I have to say. It is what it's happening. And obviously people like Kona. Obviously people are going to buy Kona. It's going to be what it is. They're not going to have an NBC special anymore. So they're going to have to get some new guy to like talk in that voice about the dramatic landscape.
The feisty comes out.
Yeah. You do sound a little sour, but I'm just sure you'll come around. Right? Yeah.
I mean, like, how many times can you sell the same thing? Anyway, that's just like from a marketing perspective. Like, you look at the writing on the wall.
Yeah. But of course, there's history and.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're just going to have to get excited for it because that's what we're going to get. So.
It's happening. But it will be fun. They were, like you said earlier, there are a lot of big names this year and a lot of new names that are on the up so it'll be a dynamic race as much as a 7-hour race, 8-hour race can be. Mm-hmm. All right, Chelsea, before we go, I'm trying to think of if there was any last question we had for you.
What's next?
No, that's what I was going to say, but then I was trying to think of a nicer way to say it. Nice. What do you have on your plan?
What are your future endeavors?
Well, I guess I have gonna have dinner tonight. No, just kidding. I signed up. Well, I don't know if I'm signed up, but I kind of asked to get into a 100K race.
Oh yeah, which one?
Javelina. I was out there to pace someone in the 100-miler last year, and it seems like a race more suited to my strengths.
Really?
I don't know if you meant athletically for me. What's next? But that's what's in my head.
Okay.
I mean, Camp 2026. A few more Chasing the Burn podcasts.
Good.
I'll, eventually retire from that, but not yet.
Not yet. No.
Yeah.
Why?
I feel like you can't be planning your retirement.
Yeah, I was like,
you just got started.
I was gonna say. And is that imminent or is that in like 10 years?
I said this on the episode yesterday that I did. It's hard, guys. Man, I struggle so much to get the people.
Really?
That's what I struggle with. Well, it's just like I feel bad asking them, and then sometimes someone doesn't reply to me, and I'm like, oh, I'm failed at everything. And then it's just like I feel like I'm inconveniencing people sometimes. I know these are all not kind of irrational, but it definitely is like my emotional situation over the course of like planning an episode can be so. Yeah, that's a lot. So no, I it's been fun, and I'm enjoying the like platform and like the fact that there have been so many people that have been willing to come on, but it probably won't be forever. I think that I've realized every year I'm out of triathlon as like an athlete. I like it and I enjoy watching my friends, but I'm not ever going to be the age grouper who wants to go race Kona. Like it's not.
You don't know that. Apparently it's got the lure. Like you can sign up.
I'm definitely not ever doing a triathlon again.
Oh wow, that's a strong statement.
Are you, Katie?
Actually, so we took our athletes to this like small race called the Brick Endurance Series in Durham, and it's like a 6 p.m. Wednesday night race. and we rode up, and I was like, this is where I would race. Like, because I don't think I have, at least at this point, any like competitive bone in my body for triathlon, which people are like, oh, how could you do it without? I'm like, oh, this would be so easy to do without any like expectation of myself.
Sure.
The hardest part would be when people are searching for the results. And
Right.
they're like,
is this alphabetical? I thought this is
exactly.
Z.
We'll go with that. That's a good idea. But I do I loved when I got started. I loved the local triathlon scene. Like when we were in upstate New York, like Casanova, I mean, like Chelsea knows a little like upstate New York areas. And like, I thought it was incredible. Like it was just super fun. So I'd be kind of how you are with running, except probably train far less for a triathlon, show up just for fun. And also I kind of feel like Kimball's going to be doing a triathlon at some point. And it would be very fun to like participate.
Do it with him.
Yeah. Well,
That is not where you're at. Is what you're saying.
I don't feel that way.
No, that's
I think
it was very like clear that you were like,
Yeah.
I'm never doing one.
I think
This
it's
is
just like
interesting.
when you've
Never
done
is
something.
an interesting like word though.
Well, it's like when you've done something at a certain level, it's like, well,
Sure.
everything else I do in that would gonna be like super disappointing. And I think also,
What about when you're like 70?
well, maybe if I had a little more time, but like I can't go swimming and biking and running. It's like
It is true. That's been the biggest thing I've noticed
Yeah.
since retiring and like now having like kids and a job. I'm like, how do people train for triathlon? Like,
it is amazing to think that age groupers with full-time jobs
Yeah.
are training for Ironmans. Like that is remarkable. I go swimming about twice a year. And my first one was like in the winter, and I did 5Ks after not swimming for 6 months.
Nice.
So
who
That's-
took you on that ride? Because that was not a Chelsea.
that was a swim.
Yeah, but you didn't just go by yourself and swim.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I showed up at the Julie Dibbins
Okay.
Masters squad.
I was like, there's no way you went to a pool.
Yeah, no.
You guys are being super unrelatable right now. I want you
Sorry. Yeah. I don't even
I
know.
forget where this ended.
where
Oh
this
yeah. All
started.
right. What else you have planned for this year? And you are maybe going to run Javelina
Not
Yeah.
do a triathlon.
and not do a triathlon. And
I'm gonna crew a 100-miler in a month.
Is that for Heather
Run
again?
Rabbit for Riley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, out in Steamboat. So that'll be fun. Those are, I don't know if you've ever crewed an ultra race, but
yes, I have.
holy cow, it's so crazy and it's actually so fun. I had 4 of my friends actually came and crewed me in Leadville, which I was very grateful for. And it was like, that was literally the reason I kept going. I was like, I have to get to them. I know they're here. But the being at a feed zone in a 100-mile race, like Run Rabbit, this one actually starts at 1 p.m. and it'll finish at 8 a.m. So I've requested not to be awake at 3 a.m., but we'll see how that goes. But
So
yeah, that kind of stuff is really fun for me.
when you crew, is there like there's like a lot of planning ahead of time, right? Like for the people who you're crewing for.
Yeah, it's like, it makes you like laugh at the fact that you're like, oh, you have to organize your transitions in triathlon.
Yeah.
Wait till you see the spreadsheet for like aid station,
Yeah.
10
seen
hours,
that, yeah.
15 hours into these events. So they're really great at planning. And honestly, experience is amazing. You just learn so much from each one. And someone like Riley has been doing this for like a decade and has just developed everything they know. And it's quite the system. And the nutrition is very specific because, it's hard. But
Well, an energy matching at that point has to be pretty critical during those races. Like,
yeah, they're like
Holy.
dragging. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. Like, Riley, that's okay. Yeah. So I have to therapy hat has to go
Okay,
on
good.
there. So
Oh, good. I feel like that's your calling, right? So.
crewing my friends' races in the middle
I was
of the
going
night.
with therapy, but yeah, either way.
therapy. Yeah, unofficial therapy.
Unofficial.
on podcasts.
For athletes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, thank you for joining us, for answering the email and not making me feel awkward for asking.
Thanks for having me. I honestly felt like a star today. You guys asked a lot about me, so I feel like I'm not usually the center of attention, but It was very fun to be on, and sorry for not being as excited about Ironman as
It's the first,
as you.
the first podcast that we've done that I've been like, oh, like I like know what's going on with.
Yeah, you have me back after a few more short
right.
course, and
Okay.
there's
We'll
like
have you back for like the world
super
championship.
try,
Yeah.
all
Then you'll
those.
we'll do that.
The fall is just getting started.
Yeah.
It really does
Right.
feel like there's been such a slow, like, I don't know why. I just keep thinking, oh, I'll be more excited next
Next
one. So, yeah.
All right. We'll have you back. Thanks for joining us, Chelsea.